Federal government integrate technology into the education infrastructure to address human capacity.
We are very enthusiastic about the reaction of the Vice President. The Vice President mentioned how this is important for the President.
Ongoing transformational policies of federal government to make life better for Nigerians soon, says Minister of Information and National Orientation. Labour Party mobilizes to resolve alleged illegalities and malpractices within party. Hello and welcome to the late evening news at 11 on Nta News24. We are reaching you live from Abuja. I am Olajide Bello. Many thanks for joining us. As the World Bank proposes partnership on key human capital project to boost health, governance and education, the federal government says it will integrate technology into the nation's educational infrastructure to address human capacity and resource challenges to improve learning. Vice President Kashim Shettima gave the assurance during a meeting with the World Bank Nigeria team led by the country director Nta Diop at the Presidential Villa Abuja. State House correspondent Drama Jibrila reports.
Committed to driving change in the country by evolving global technological landscape, Vice President Kashim Shettima said the Tinubu administration will harness all available opportunities to add value to the country. Making reference to India's success in using smart class solutions to teach students in rural areas, Vice President Shettima says a similar innovation could revolutionize Nigeria's education system. During their presentation on opportunities for prosperity and equity in Nigeria's human capital, leader of the team and World Bank's country director for Nigeria outlined their focus on improving governance, health and education across the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory.
It's also addressing the governance issues that are upstream to the delivery of services at the facility level, making sure that the resources, financial resources, go all the way down to the facility and are utilized, making sure that the healthcare workers and the teachers are not only recruited in good quality, but also are present to deliver those services. We are very enthusiastic about the reaction of the Vice President. The Vice President mentioned how this is important for the President and has really encouraged us to implement this work on this program and finalize it, implement it as soon as possible.
The projects are part of a broader push to reform governance processes, primary health care and education, with an emphasis on human capital development. Meanwhile, Vice President Kashim Shettima has reiterated the commitment of the Tinubu administration to partnering with the 36 states of the Federation to address the challenges of flood and other natural disasters in Nigeria. He stated this when he received Speaker of the House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas, who paid him a commiseration visit at the Presidential Villa over the ravaging flood in Maiduguri, Borno State, following the collapse of a dam in the state.
All parts of the Federation should have a sense of buy-in and belonging. So we cannot thank you for your stellar leadership in the National Assembly. In spite of having nearly 70% of the members as newly sworn-in members, you were able to keep the flag flying. There is a lot of stability in the House of Representatives. And we have to commend you for providing that leadership. We wish you well, and inshallah, you are one of the fulcrums of our democratic journey, the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. A harmonious relationship between the three strands are very essential to sustain democracy in this country.
I used that opportunity to discuss extensively on the problems and the situation of the people, particularly those affected by the flood in Borno. And we have also designed some strategies and solutions that both the National Assembly and the Presidency will implement in the next few days to bring succor to the victims of the flood in Borno State.
From the State House, Abrahman Jibrila, NTA News.
The House of Representatives has shifted resumption from its annual recess by 1 week. House spokesman Akin Rotimi says the House will now resume plenary on Tuesday, September 24, 2024, 1 week away from September 17, 2024, initially communicated. Upon resumption, the leadership of the House is expected to inaugurate the new board of the Public Complaints Commission and the Joint Senate, House and other committees on the petroleum industry investigation. Members used the period of the recess to engage their constituents on critical issues of concern and undertake oversight of ministries, departments and agencies of government. With floods now ravaging some parts of the country, Borno State being the latest, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control says it is strengthening preparedness and coordination response on disease surveillance nationwide, concerned with the health risk of flood in spread of diseases. Director General of the NCDC, Dr. Jude Idris, discussed this while giving updates on latest efforts to counter these emerging diseases threatening public health. Olusheye Adiagbo reports.
The NCDC Mpox epidemiological summary as of August 2024 indicates suspected cases have increased from 834 to 1,031 in 34 states of the Federation and the FCT, with 67 confirmed cases recorded across 23 states and the FCT without fatalities. Akwa Ibom and Enugu states are leading in the Mpox charts with 8 cases each. The Nigeria CDC also updates that ongoing Lassa fever outbreak has seen over 7,973 suspected cases and 168 deaths across 28 states, while cholera has claimed 216 lives in 2024.
As we're having a downward trend in Lassa fever and meningitis since we've deactivated the EOC, we also do know that in the next couple of weeks and 2-3 months, because these diseases are seasonal, we are likely to be seeing increasing cases of those diseases again. So it is now incumbent on us to prepare now, to start preparing for situations and strategies that will not allow us to see as many of those cases as possible this next season. But what we are trying to do now is increase the number of laboratories all over the country to build their capabilities to be able to test for Mpox.
The center has now pinpointed nationwide surveillance as a potent measure that will enhance accurate detection of cases.
Flooding also have the health consequences. Flooding can increase the number of diarrhea cases. They can increase the number of cholera cases, gastroenterological typhoid cases. That's why it's very essential for us again to address this issue. Both states now should get ready, especially in Borno State where we have this. Our staff are working with NEMA now again to help address these issues.
Another request by the center is a strengthened collaboration of key players in human health, agriculture and environment sectors under the One Health approach. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, says ongoing implementation of transformational policies that are unlocking the country's potential has emboldened the federal government not to relent until it takes Nigerians to the promised land of prosperity. At an expanded management retreat organized by the National Orientation Agency, the Minister added that the agency under his watch will not compromise its efforts towards a national rebirth through national value orientation. Saliu Gwanara reports.
The expanded retreat was an opportunity for the participants to enjoy the uncommon interface directly with the henchmen of the ministry. With a promise to boldly and confidently push harder, the minister wants participants to be relevant drivers and worthy ambassadors as the nation is already on a journey of lasting transformation.
When I paid my maiden visit to the NOA in October of 2023, I recall saying that I look forward to working with the agency to, and I quote, kickstart on the President's directives a nationwide reorientation and reawakening campaign, and I'll be requiring a comprehensive roadmap from you within the shortest possible time. You already have the experience of doing this, as well as the skills and the enthusiasm to do so, end of quote. I am delighted, therefore, today to say that we have since then gone very far in this regard, producing a brand new national values charter for our dear country, in line with the President's commitment to a moral, ethical, and cultural reawakening across the land, and the entrenchment of the right values, attitudes, habits, and perspectives deep in the hands and minds of the people of this great nation.
The National Values Charter, the minister said, was developed as a tool for social cohesion to promote unity with unique implementation plans.
1. To ensure that all Nigerians are fully aware of their rights and protections under the Constitution and the laws of the land, and that governments at all levels are equally aware of all the constitutionally guaranteed obligations that they have to the citizenry. 2nd, to sensitize and awaken all Nigerians to all of our responsibilities as citizens of this great and beautiful country.
National reorientation, the minister acknowledged, is the way to go in fostering sustainable peace and guarantee confidence among the leaders and the led. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
The Independent Media and Policy Initiative is encouraging Nigerians to patiently support the transformation policies of the current administration aimed at economic recovery and repositioning of Nigeria for sustainable development. Chairman of the organization, Nta News24, gave this encouragement at a press conference in Abuja.
The Independent Media and Policy Initiative is concerned over continuous pressure from the organized labor and other civil society groups asking the federal government to revert to subsidizing petroleum products. Analyzing the subsidy interventions since 1973, the organization pointed out clearly that the policy at the later stage only benefited the rich, who are biggest consumers of petroleum products and marketers.
Meanwhile, most vehicles used for carrying large numbers of people and goods are diesel-powered and are already deregulated. Also, household kerosene, which people with low incomes mainly use, is no longer subsidized. This means the government mainly subsidizes those who can afford fuel at the market rates.
Chairman, Independent Media and Policy Initiative being light on some of the federal government transformation policies already impacting the lives of Nigerians.
We are witnessing what the government is doing in the health sector with the National Health Workforce Policy to transform Nigeria's healthcare and reintegrate the diasporal professional into the health sector. The federal government has already started implementing the Medical Residency Training Fund, which is in full swing. This is enabled by savings made from scrapping fuel subsidies.
The organization is asking the labor movement and its affiliates to rather engage government at all levels to channel resources accrued from subsidy removal to better the lives of citizens, rather than agitating for measures that would draw the country backwards. In Abuja, Joseph Utsen, NTA News.
The military is to train communities to act as first responders to security challenges, while manhunt for abandoned leader Bello Turji has been upscaled. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, announced this at a news conference on ongoing operations to combat security threats across the country. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports.
One unified operation is going to be called Operation Fansan Myanmar. It's securing the West. Now, the intention is to ensure that we synergize all our efforts in addressing the security challenges in the Northwest.
It's a crucial briefing on efforts to address the wave of insecurity across the country.
Banditry.
Top is the unification of ongoing operations, whole of society approach to stem banditry, terrorism, and pipeline vandalism. Worried by the increase in banditry in the Northwest, the Chief of Defense Staff and Minister of Defense for State were in Sokoto to review ongoing operations.
For us to maintain security, the armed forces and security agencies cannot be everywhere. We will try as much as possible to be there, but we're going to build the capacity of the locals to be able to defend themselves for a while before the military will come in. That we have adopted in the Northeast with the civilian JTF, with the hybrid forces, and it has worked. And the issue of 2G is just a deranged individual that feels power, but I can bet you that it's just a matter of time.
Similarly, sequel to a presidential directive and a marching order by the Chief of Defense Staff to curb oil theft and pipeline vandalism, all military operations in the Niger Delta have been harmonized under Operation Delta Safe and upscaled, leading to 100% terminal factor.
Along the key oil pipelines, I think that is massive. If we can remain at that level, then the directive of Mr. President to work towards having a 2 million barrels per day is achievable within the next few months.
This is the third major briefing on the state of insecurity by the Chief of Defense Staff in the last 2 months. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
You're watching the late evening news at 11 at NTA News24. More reports will return.
What is fake news? A false information with no verifiable source presented as true story on media platforms with the sole intention of causing injuries, chaos, and disaffection between persons, groups, or countries. Fake news facilitates extremism. Fake news creates panic and distrust. Fake news breeds hatred. Fake news kills. Don't joke with it. Don't be in a rush. Verify your sources and facts. It is better late than fake. This message is brought to you by Nta News24.
Thanks for being there. Corps Marshal of Federal Road Safety Corps, Sheikh Mohammed, is advocating more enlightenment to reduce road crashes in the country. This was during a condolence visit to the Niger State government over the road crash that claimed lives along Lapai Bida route. Oyemi Ajayi reports.
Still fresh in the memory of many is the road traffic crash at the busy Lapai Bida route that involved 4 vehicles, 2 DAF trucks, a Toyota car and a DAF tanker with petroleum, which claimed 37 lives out of 55 people involved. This informed the visit of the FRSC Corps Marshal, Sheikh Mohammed, to Niger State to condole with the state governor, aside soliciting better working relationship with road management stakeholders to prevent reoccurrence.
It's about sensitization, public education and advocacy. We are going to improve on that. In fact, we are going to give more emphasis on the passengers. Let the passengers speak out and stop the drivers from killing them and making them vulnerable.
All those organizations that are concerned with the road users to make their findings and make it available to us as a state. So we can also build it into on policies to avoid the future occurrence.
Sheikh Mohammed used the visit to open up on other measures in place to curb road crashes, such as the establishment of more outposts at strategic places to increase visibility on the roads nationwide. The team also visited the residence of the former military head of state, General Ibrahim Babangida, after a stop at the sector command of the Corps. Oyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has congratulated His Royal Highness the 8th Nape Yahya Abubakar on his 72nd birthday, which coincided with the monarch's 21st anniversary on the throne. A statement by a special advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, says President Tinubu recognizes the strong and purposeful leadership of the 8th Nape as chairman of the Niger State Council of Traditional Rulers and his contributions to the traditional leadership institution and community development. The President commends the first-class traditional ruler for supporting education and development initiative and facilitating healthcare projects in Nope Kingdom. The president also commends him for working for the stability of the country by promoting peaceful coexistence and cooperation among different ethnic and religious groups, not only in Niger State but also throughout Nigeria. President Tinubu wishes the king good health and happiness as he celebrates tomorrow's two events. And following the end of the tenure of Julius Abure as the national chairman of the Labour Party, members of the National Transition Committee of the party have engaged and mobilized all stakeholders to ensure that the party recovers itself from what it alleged were illegalities and malpractices within the party. These followed INEC informing Abure of June 9, 2024 that his tenure had expired, addressing the legitimacy of the meeting in Mahia to iron out the alleged anomalies. Secretary on the Board of Trustees of the party, Salisu Mohammed, stressed that it was called in accordance with the party's constitution, which bestows on the National Executive Council of the party the right to fill any vacancy that exists before another convention is held. He emphasized that the former National Working Committee of the Labour Party under Julius Abure was merely a caretaker capacity.
Intervention to really begin to do a lot of remedial, measures, to resolve some of the crises that arising from that mishandling, of the situation there. But we give glory to God that, our leader, His Excellency Peter Obi, very early, in the case of Edo State, he really stood very, very strong and ensured that we pick up the pieces, and our party right now is a frontline, party in terms of all the indicators, that are coming out, from the campaign.
Edo State is our territory. It is a place that the voters belong to Labour Party, and as God will have it, we have managed to present the best governorship candidate in Edo State.
The composition of the new caretaker committee, he said, comprised representatives of the core stakeholder groups from founded labor unions to elected officials, as well as governorship candidates in the last elections. And under the new leadership, the Labour Party will return stronger as a formidable opposition party. Inculcating a productivity mindset among Nigerian youth remains a strategic tool towards exposing young Nigerians to more job opportunities. Saddled with this responsibility, the National Productivity Center is continuing to train core members at NYSC orientation camps to enhance their productivity skills. Joseph Hussein reports on the latest exercise at the Kubwa orientation camp in Abuja.
On display are products made by some NYSC members for sale. Many have benefited from the NYSC entrepreneurship training to be self-reliant, but the federal government is taking a step further by providing productivity skills to enable them sustain and grow in whatever venture they choose to build on after leaving the camp.
So your outputs are very important. So your outcomes and your impact in life is product of your output. So, and that output is dependent on how well you utilize the resources available to you.
Participants receive lessons on vital productivity tools and techniques, such as identifying and utilizing available resources, value addition, competitiveness, and measuring success.
Timeliness, efficient utilization of resources, respect, integrity, all of these are very important to perform in the workplace and to add value. Apart from the attitudinal gap, we also encourage them to close the knowledge gap. Perhaps some may go to schools to teach, some may go to other offices to work. They should be well equipped with the knowledge necessary to perform optimally. Then the third gap, we also encourage them to close when they go for their primary place of assignment, is the skills gap.
The federal government says it has plans to create 1.5 million jobs through the Labor Employment Enhancement Program, targeting mostly youth. In Abuja, Joseph Utsen, NTA News.
The Kogi State government has received with deep shock and sadness the passing of a legal luminary, Yunus Ustaz Usman SAN. A statement by Commissioner for Information and Communication Kingsley Femi Fanwo states that until his death, Yunus Ustaz Usman displayed exceptional professionalism and helped in building a body of legal knowledge. He was a shining example of Kogi spirit that embodies excellence, industry, and greatness. Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo described the late senior advocate of Nigeria as a brilliant gentleman whose work spoke more than his words, urging young Kogites to learn from the immaculate brilliance, honesty, and hard-working attributes of the late SAN. The governor extends his heartfelt condolences to the good people of Dekina local government area, the immediate and extended families, and the legal icon, the Nigerian Bar Association, over the irreparable loss. And that's the late evening news at 11 on IMT News 24. Many thanks for being a part of it. I'm Olajide Bello.